What's going on, guys? Dan back here with the Regular Guy Garage. So today what I'm going to be doing is getting this crankshaft out of the block. I need to get it taken down to the machine shop. I did actually have, a lot of shavings and stuff down in the oil pan. They were just real fine. The other thing I found out though was, so I took the torque converter off the car, and what happened was, so that the smaller shaft right there, that actually came out and was stuck inside of the torque converter. So something must have happened. Now that converter hasn't been off in a while. I forget when the last time I changed it was, or not that I changed it, but I had it off. But I wonder if something happened that, so I had to actually hit the converter with a hammer several times just to get that shaft out, and then I just kind of threw it back in there. It's not really fully in yet, but I don't think that was supposed to happen. So I'm wondering if something happened that, caused this converter to then put a whole bunch of pressure on the, crankshaft itself. Because like I said, I've done this stuff many times before. I've checked it a whole bunch of times. I remember specifically checking the converter spacing when I installed the flex plate, the new flex plate last time. So yeah, chances are, honestly, I was going to do a new converter anyway, but I think this was our culprit. Something happened with this that was the culprit to then destroying this crankshaft. So I did some research, and I actually did find out that the crankshafts are not terribly expensive. So even if I need to get a new crankshaft, I think they were like $280 or something like that. Plus I would also have to take it and get it rebalanced. Luckily I kept the card from when, the blueprinting card from when this engine assembly was balanced last time. So I'm hoping I could just bring the new crank along with that card and be like, hey man, can you just balance this crank? And we should be good to go. But the plan is now I'm going to take the front cover off. I got to take the pulley off, the harmonic balancer, the front cover, all that stuff, and then oil pump, all the main caps, rods. And yeah, let's get this crankshaft out and see what we're really dealing with. I'm going to leave everything hooked up while the engine is rotating over as far as the timing chain and stuff. I think it'll make it easier if, the valves are moving in unison while I'm disconnecting pistons, and then I'll just shove the pistons all the way to the top of the bores as I go down. But one thing I did notice while I was taking the oil pump off, and I don't remember this before. So one thing I noticed while I was taking the oil pump off is that the oil pump bolts are actually, I don't know if you can see it, but they're actually bent. Like right now it's actually it's curved that way, whereas now it's curved that way. So I don't know if I don't remember that being like that, but I'm gonna get some new oil pump bolts. I'm actually probably gonna just get a whole new oil pump too, even though I had very good oil pressure. Anyway, you're gonna continue now. I'm gonna disconnect all of the connecting rods, push the pistons forward down into the bores, and then I'll do all the main caps and pull the, All right, so we got the crankshaft out of the engine, and as you can see, that hot spot right there, and that groove that's worn in it. I'm gonna take it to the machine shop and see if they can fix it. Yeah, you can see that hot spot real bad. Plus, yeah, right in there, I don't remember this groove actually being worn in this. This is a pretty thick groove. And then as for the engine itself, everything else looked okay aside from, yeah, obviously this guy right here. All right, so here's that upper bearing, and as you can see, obviously just totally destroyed. So, everything else looked pretty good. The bearings didn't really have any sort of, premature wear or anything like that. Obviously, it was brand new. It was just, this guy right here. So, so I'm gonna get this crankshaft loaded up in the truck, take it out of the machine shop. We'll see if it's worth fixing. If not, we'll just get a new crankshaft, some new bearings and stuff, throw it all back together, and we'll move forward with this project. All right, so I took the crankshaft on down to the machine shop. And so the groove, they can weld it, right? They can weld this and then machine it down. Kind of the issue was, not even really an issue, but I was outweighing the cost, like how much is it gonna cost me to actually machine it, and then how reliable is the machine going to be. So now, yes, they can actually machine it. I think he said it was going to be roughly $150. But he said it also, you know, when he adds a little bit of heat into the crankshaft, it might, you know, it might cause it to bend a little bit, and then he'd have to straighten it. And then so I was outweighing the cost of that plus the cost of a new crankshaft. And it just didn't really make sense for me to fix this crankshaft, you know, just with spending just a little bit more money, you know, that I have available to get, you know, a new crankshaft. So we started getting some parts in. I got some, as you can see, some ARP bolts, some new main and rod bearings for the engine. So additionally, the old crankshaft, we're not going to use that anymore. And so we got a new crankshaft for the car. Should be here at some point this week. It said it left the facility today. I should have it either tomorrow or the next day. And so this block, right, we're going to reuse everything. It will no longer be a 331. I got a 347 crankshaft. And the reason why I did that was because there was no 331 crankshafts available for, and so basically I just bought the same brand crank. And so if you don't know, the crankshaft is really the only thing that determines whether or not this 331 would be a 347. So the block is already notched. Each cylinder is already notched for, you know, whatever. So, and so it uses the same, I believe it's like a 5-inch 400 thousandths rod. The only difference would be the stroke of the crank. On a 331 is a 3-inch 250 thousandths. Now we're going to have a 3-inch 400 thousandths. You know, everything, the cylinders and everything feel pretty good, so we shouldn't have an issue. The only thing is I will have to take this new crankshaft down to get balanced. And I have the card that they gave me with all of the weights and stuff from when they balanced this, the last crankshaft. So I should just be able to give them that card with the new crankshaft, and then they can get this crankshaft balance, and then we will have a 347 stroker in the car. You know, so long to the 331 stroker. It was good to us for the few times that we took it out racing, but we should see a good, you know, we should get a couple horsepower extra, pick up some torque with the more displacement in the engine. So, and so while this isn't something that necessarily hurts us too bad, because it's not going to really, you know, it's not going to be crazy expensive to fix, but it does kind of hit us in the pocket to where, you know, I did have a couple things that I was going to do to the car, but now because of this, some of those things are going to have to wait. I'm contemplating on what I should do. I might keep the K-member, still switch to the manual steering rack, and then do the turbo. So we might just be doing manual steering rack plus turbo, and then get it out racing next year for that, and then go on from there. So, you know, a little bit of changes to the plans, but shouldn't really set us back too far. Additionally, I need to find out what's going on with why this this you know, input shaft for the torque converter, why it was stuck in there. I might need a new torque converter. I mean, I'm almost positive that this was the culprit. I don't know if maybe, you know, it ballooned up or something caused it. But the fact that that shaft was, that I had to basically hammer it out of the torque converter, I mean, something clearly was going on there. A couple other things we got to do to the car. I got to get this shifter cable linkage. I have to get a new one, so I need to remove that. I need to get the exhaust off the car, because more than likely we're not going to be using this full exhaust anymore. So I'll take that off and sell that. I'll probably be selling these headers too, since the turbo system won't be using any of that. And then I would like to get rid of this stock style fuel tank and get some sort of a fuel cell in there. I'm kind of hesitant on that. If any, I have to pull the fuel tank out anyway, because I did notice I tried to fill it up not long ago and it actually leaked out of the top. So I need to change that gasket at the top. But what I might do is just get rid of that tank entirely, get a fuel cell set up. But I would have to make, I'm going to have to make some sort of a firewall around the fuel tank. But anyway, a lot of work to do on the car. I mean, this feels like it's going to be a never-ending project, so, and I'm sure it will be. So anyway, guys, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. My Instagram, @RegularGuyGarage. Be sure to check out the playlist for this car. We got a long way to go. As always, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.